Greetings, mortals! I am Warevo, and welcome back to Spyro the Dragon. Today, we are going to be wrapping up the Artisans homeworld, and our first task is going to be to stop in Dark Hollow to wrap up the little scavenger hunt that we began before. Now, for those of you who did participate in the scavenger hunt, I'm gonna tell you, every last one of you is way off. This is something that you need to really open your eyes and look at every single detail. Dark Hollow is one of my favorite levels in this game. The nighttime setting, the dark, peaceful atmosphere, even down to occasionally, if you pay attention in some spots, you can even hear crickets chirping. For some reason, I have always been fascinated with the night sky, and any chance I have to be able to look at the night sky, I always make sure I take it. And this level has that kind of vibe for me.
Psst, Spyro, want to know a secret? Use the triangle button when you want to zoom in and look around. Oh, your secret's safe with me.
Yeah, I'd say a basic function of the game isn't exactly a secret. Unless you're talking about NES games like Milon's Secret Castle, where the basic functions of the game required Nintendo Power just to get you started. Now, Spyro the Dragon is one of those kind of games that doesn't hold your hand, but at the same time it doesn't really need to either. Its difficulty is perfectly reasonable for what it is, and the learning curve is perfect. Now, that's not to say there aren't some parts of it that get insanely difficult, and in Spyro 2 there are some unreasonably hard spots. And even Year of the Dragon, I've yet to be able to beat 100%. Or even be able to make it through at all without a great level of difficulty.
Oh, it's you! I wasn't sure if you'd escape those annoying little creatures. Of course, they wouldn't bother me, but here's a hint. Metal armor is fireproof, but a charge attack will take care of them.
Yeah, get used to hearing that. You'll be hearing everybody and their grandmother saying that all across all three of these games. It's like in Spider-Man, in the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. You always hear, with great power comes great responsibility. It gets old after you hear it so many times. Get used to that. There are a few things about these games that tend to get a bit obnoxious or repetitive. In Spyro 2 and 3, Moneybags is the biggest culprit. His attitude is that of a greedy corporate penny pincher, basically akin to Disney or Nintendo, where all they really care about is your money. They don't care at all about you, and they will rip you off openly however they wish or however they see fit in order to get your money. Often at the cost of making themselves look like a complete and total jerk.
Big enemies like this Gnorc with the club cannot be charged, but a quick flame, that should defeat them.
That's number 2 for those of you keeping track at home. I want to take a moment here to discuss something that I had touched on a while back. Now, a little while ago, I had mentioned that YouTube was rumored to be redefining what qualified as a view. The rumor that I had been told was that your view would only count if you hit the like button, you commented, you subscribed, or something like that. Things that involved actual viewer interaction beyond just forwarding through the video or whatever. As far as I can tell, that is not entirely false, but partially false. Or at the very least, partially true. Because what I've seen in my videos, currently, my previous Spyro the Dragon demo video sits at 8 views looking at the numbers on YouTube. But looking at the statistics on YouTube Studio, that total sits at 11 views. Now, I think that rumor only holds true for the bigger content creators, like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and people like that. For the smaller nobodies like me, I really don't think YouTube cares. But that is just what I've seen so far.
Welcome to Town Square, Spyro. Begin exploring by gliding to that area with the bulls. Use the L2 and R2 buttons to get a good look.
Town Square is one of those levels where, between the Reignited trilogy and the original version, I started noticing a few differences. The first one I noticed is that in this version, in the original version, the chickens will just kind of mind their own business. Where in the Reignited version, the chickens will stand there right in front of you, screaming in your face. Which I honestly think is hilarious.
Thanks, Spyro. I had the worst itch on the tip of my wing. Oh, did you know that you get your longest glides by pressing X at the very top of your jump?
Yeah, that's another thing they tend to obnoxiously repeat in these games. Oh, get the most out of your glide by pressing X at the top of your jump. I get really sick of hearing that. It may be just me, but repetitively going on and on about the game mechanics, all that does is annoy me. I'm sorry. Though, at least they're telling you something that's useful, instead of those other dragons where they started running out of lines, and it is, oh, thank you for releasing me. Yeah, you get a lot of those later in the game, and there's even one in this level. Yeah, no comedy, no funny interactions, no attempt at humor, no tips or anything like that, just thanks for releasing me. Poof, bye. Now this thief right here is another one of the differences that I noted between the Reignited and original versions of this level. In Reignited, if you time your jump perfectly, you can time it so that that thief will be down here at the bottom, and you can charge right down and drop down on him and knock him down. I use that technique in the Reignited trilogy all the time, and it has never failed me. Where in this version, that doesn't seem to work. Or at the very least, I haven't experimented enough with this version of the game to be able to say for sure that it works. But the charge flame technique does work perfectly here. A sad missed opportunity between not the Reignited and the original, but between Spyro the Dragon and Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage is their lack of inclusion of different varieties of chest types. Like this right here, that little windmill thing, right there for example. That and the other one, the gold one with the gem that shoots up when you flame it, which I call a geyser. Those are my favorites, and I missed those in the other games.
Thank you for releasing me.
Yep, right there. That's what I was telling you earlier. Thank you for releasing me.
Spyro, did you see a man dressed in blue running around here? He's a thief, and he's stolen a dragon egg. You've got to track him down and get that egg. Run! Run! I'm getting a little winded.
Yeah, you might want to try hitting the gym there, Chris Farley. Maybe then you won't be out of breath so easily. Seriously though, I can understand the lack of variety in the designs of the dragons in the originals, because they didn't have the technology to have as much variety as they do for the Reignited trilogy. So they just end up reusing the same 5 or 6 designs over and over again, which, admittedly, even back then, lazy though it was still cool. But our next level is the boss level, and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I've always hated this level for one simple reason, which you'll find out here in just a second. This level and I do not get along very well. Actually, most of the bosses and I don't get along. But here, you can see, right up ahead there, those are dogs. And you need to watch your step around these dogs. Either flame twice in quick succession, or flame and run as fast as you can. Otherwise, that will happen. And there is very little room for error with these dogs. And if you don't run fast enough, you can still get hit. Those dogs have been the bane of my existence in this level. And they end up costing me a couple of lives in this playthrough. Yeah, you will actually see me die in this episode. And yes, it's cheap. That being said, this level also has a comedic element to it. That being the boss itself. Which I'm not going to spoil, you'll just have to wait for it. So, over the next couple weeks, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna start hammering out videos. Meaning I'm going to record them, edit them, and render them so that I can have some content scheduled to upload as I spend the next couple of months working on a big project that I have planned. I don't know how long this project is going to take. It may take me a couple of weeks. It may take me a month. It may even only take me a couple of days. It just depends on how it goes. But those of you who came through the little 3-second YouTube short that I put out a while back, you guys will probably be able to figure out what this project is going to be.
Nasty Nork has put one of his most devious henchmen in charge of the artisan world.
Bring him on. I think I smell a barbecue.
Be careful, Spyro. This boss has many tricks up his sleeve.
So yeah, I'm gonna be pushing production into overdrive for the next couple of days or maybe weeks. Now, here's where things start getting interesting, because this boss is actually really easy. It's the dogs guarding him that are a challenge. Up. He slipped up there. Yes, that is exactly what you thought it was. For those who didn't catch it, I ain't saying anything. There we go. Toasty is nothing more than a sheep in disguise. Maybe it's the sheep from the old Spyro commercials come back for revenge. And failing miserably. And there you have my first death in this playthrough. Yeah, Toasty may look tough and intimidating, but he's all bark. Yeah, he's a bad boss. Yeah, I feel like they were bleeding around the bush with this boss. Toasty's trying to pull the wool over my eyes. I'm trying to think of good jokes, but I've got mutton. Hey, you guys better be laughing over here. These jokes ain't sheep. I could have sworn I've made that joke before. I have the sheer audacity to just keep going. I think you've heard enough. Yeah, I think that's enough corn for one day. I'm sorry. Yeah. I don't think I'll ever be able to get over the soundtrack for this game. I mean, I mentioned this before. I've talked a lot about the Ape Escape soundtrack and how much I enjoy it, but the Spyro the Dragon and Spyro 2 Ripto's Rage, the soundtrack for both games, is like there's a lot more to it, and there's just a lot more heavy hitters. Like, there's a lot more variety in the styles, or in the, not the style, the feel of the music. Where most of the Artisans tracks felt kind of peaceful and easygoing, the track for this world that you're hearing right now has kind of a military, kind of marchy type feel to it.
Welcome to Peacekeeper, Spyro. Look how our treasure has been turned against us and stolen. Recover our treasure, Spyro.
Collect treasure. Got it.
that's it for this episode. Next time, we will be going on our first foray into the Peacekeepers world. The, should I say, ironically named Peacekeepers world. But that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for joining me. This is Warevo signing off. Thank you and God bless.